There's a bird on the wire above your street, and it's watching you. You walk past it every day without a second look. Just another black bird. But it is not part of the scenery. It knows your face. It knows the route you take. It can tell you apart from every other person on this street. And depending on how you've treated its kind, it may have already decided how it feels about you. This is an animal that remembers a human face for years, holds a grudge, teaches that grudge to birds who've never met you, uses tools, plans for the future, and may understand that it will one day die. And you've been calling it a pest. By the end of this video, you'll never look at a crow the same way again. And one true story, near the end, about the time a handful of these birds humiliated an entire team of scientists. Let's get into the truth. The crow is one of the most intelligent animals alive. Not smart for a bird, but smart on the level of a great ape. We'll look at how it knows your face, the brain that shouldn't be able to do any of this, the way it lies and gives gifts, and what it understands about death. And then the story of how it beat the scientists studying it. Stay with me. Let's start with the thing that unsettles people most. The crow knows exactly who you are. Not a human. You. Your specific face out of the thousands it sees. Researchers proved this simply. They put on a mask, did something a crow didn't like, and watched what happened for years. Every time anyone wore that same mask, the crows recognized it instantly and raised the alarm. Even birds that hadn't been there the first time. Think about what that requires. The crow has to store a human face in memory, hold it for years, connect it to an emotion, and pick that face out of a crowd on sight. The crow doesn't just recognize you, it forms an opinion about you. Feed crows and they learn you're safe, sometimes for life. Threaten them and they learn that too. And they tell each other. Which raises a disturbing question. How? How does a brain the size of a walnut do what your laptop's face recognition struggles with? Here's the problem the crow poses for science. For a long time, we believed real intelligence needed a specific structure. The neocortex, the folded outer layer of the primate brain. It's the part we credit for reasoning, planning, imagination. Birds don't have one, at all. By that logic, a crow should be running on instinct, barely more than a feathered reflex. Instead, it does things that embarrass a lot of mammals. So scientists looked closer at that tiny brain and found something staggering. A crow's forebrain is packed with neurons at a density that rivals, and in places beats, a primate's. Gram for gram, there may be more processing power in a crow's head than in a monkey's. Evolution built a genius twice from two different blueprints, and here's what that hardware can do. Some crows make tools. They'll bend a straight wire into a hook to fish food out of a tube, with no training at all. Others use tools in sequence. A short stick to reach a longer stick to reach the food. A multi-step plan solved in the right order. There's an old fable where a thirsty crow drops stones into a pitcher to raise the water and drink. For centuries, it was just a story. Then scientists set up the real experiment, a floating treat, water too low to reach, and crows dropped stones in, one by one, raising the level until they could take it. They understood cause and effect, water displacement, even which objects sink and which float. They passed a test we set for human children, and ravens, their cousins, can plan hours ahead, saving a tool for a future task, even turning down a treat now for a better deal later. But raw intelligence is one thing. What makes the crow genuinely unnerving is what it does with it. The crow lies, deliberately. And to lie on purpose, you have to understand something profound, that another mind can hold different information than yours. Watch a crow or a jay hide food. If it notices another bird watching, it does something remarkable. It pretends. It fakes hiding the food in one spot, then sneaks the real item somewhere else the moment the spy looks away. Later, when no one's around, it goes back and moves its stash again, but only if it was watched, and, strangely, mostly if it has stolen from others before. As one researcher put it, it takes a thief to know a thief. The crow is modeling what's in another creature's head. That ability, imagining someone else's point of view, is one we prize as deeply human. The bird in your yard has it. But the same mind that schemes also sometimes gives. People who fed crows regularly have found gifts left behind. A bead, a button, a bottle cap where the food had been. A little girl in Seattle who fed the crows in her yard received a whole collection of tiny trinkets over the years. We can't fully explain it, but an animal that brings you presents is keeping track of a relationship with you. It's not just watching you, it's dealing with you. And if the crow understands other minds and understands you, the next question is the heaviest one. Does it understand itself, and does it understand death? There's a mirror test, a classic check for self-awareness. Put a mark on an animal where it can only see it in a mirror and see whether it realizes the reflection is itself. Almost everything fails. Human toddlers can't do it until they're around 18 months old. The list that passes is short and elite. Great apes, dolphins, elephants, and a member of the crow family. A magpie, looking in a mirror, understood that the bird staring back was itself. A bird joined the most exclusive club of minds on Earth. And more recently, scientists recording individual neurons in a crow's brain found signatures of conscious perception, evidence that the crow doesn't just react to the world, but in some real sense, experiences it. There may be someone in there. Which brings us to the strangest thing crows do. When a crow dies, other crows gather. Dozens of them assemble around the body, calling, silent, staying. People have called them crow funerals. The birds aren't mourning the way we do. Scientists found they're partly studying the scene, learning what killed their own and who was nearby, so they can avoid it. But that itself is remarkable. The crow looks at death, and instead of just fleeing, it stops, and it learns. It carries the memory of that danger and that face for years. Which is exactly what makes the next story possible. Because once a crow decides a particular human is dangerous, it does not forget. And a team of scientists found that out the hard way. To test whether crows could really remember a human face, researchers designed a careful experiment. They put on a particular mask, a caveman face, so the birds would blame the mask, not the real people. Wearing it, they trapped a handful of wild crows, briefly, harmlessly, and let them go. That was it. The scientists expected the memory to fade. It did not fade, it spread. The crows that had been caught remembered the mask instantly and began scolding and dive-bombing anyone who wore it. Then their mates joined in. Then their chicks, who had never been trapped, learned to hate the mask from their parents. Then crows from further away, who had simply watched the mobbing, picked it up too. The anger rippled outward through the whole crow community, taught from bird to bird like a story passed down. And it didn't stop. Year after year, the scientists walked their own campus in that mask and were met by mobs of screaming crows, including birds that were not even alive on the day of the experiment. Nearly a decade later, the grudge was still going. The researchers set out to measure how well a crow remembers a face. Instead, the crows turned the scientists into the experiment, a years-long demonstration that these birds never forget, and make sure the next generation won't either. The team came to study the crows. The crows studied them right back, and won. So step back and look at what's actually sitting on that wire. An animal that remembers your face for years, that makes tools, plans ahead, and solves puzzles built for children, that lies to rivals, brings gifts to people it trusts, recognizes itself in a mirror, and gathers to study its own dead. And it does all of this with a brain the size of a walnut, built on a blueprint that, by our old rules, shouldn't produce a mind at all. We spent centuries certain that intelligence was ours, maybe shared with a few apes. The crow was in the yard the whole time, watching us decide that, and quietly proving us wrong. You weren't ignoring a pest. You were ignoring a genius that had already noticed you. So, is the crow smarter than you gave it credit for? Far, far smarter. It may be one of the most intelligent minds on the planet that isn't a mammal, and it's been living on your street, learning your face, this entire time. So be honest. Have you been kind to the crows on your street, or should you be worried? If a bird watching you from the wire is unsettling, wait until you meet the animals watching you from somewhere much closer, the ones living on your own body, right now, that you will never see or feel. That's next, because the animals closest to us are always the ones hiding the most.